It just came to my mind. I think about it often, actually, but uh, it just came to my mind to bring up one of the most interesting Bible verses, I think, or passages, and it's found in the book of Job. First of all, if you don't know Job, and even if you do, let's draw attention again, naturally, to Job chapter 1 and chapter 2, where Job was a perfect and upright man, and there's a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. And the Lord said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth God, and escheweth evil? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, Doth Job fear God for naught? Hast not thou made an hedge about him, and about his house, and about all that he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. But put forth thine hand now, and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, all that he hath is in thy power, only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. And there was a day when his sons and his daughters, well, you have to read that part yourself. And basically, Satan took all these things away from Job. And it says, In all this Job sinned not, nor charged God foolishly. And then chapter 2 happens again. Again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them to present himself before the Lord. And the Lord said unto Satan, From whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth evil? And still he holdeth fast his integrity, although thou movest me against him, to destroy him without cause. And Satan answered the Lord and said, Skin for skin, all that a man hath, will he give for his life. But put forth thine hand now, and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face. And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, he is in thine hand, but save his life. So went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord, and smote Job with sore boils, from the sole of his foot unto his crown. And he took him a potsherd to scrape himself withal, and he sat down among the ashes. Then said his wife unto him, Dost thou still retain thine integrity? Curse God and die. But he said unto her, Thou speakest as one of the foolish women speakest. What, shall we receive good at the hand of God, and shall we not receive evil? In all this did not Job sin with his lips. Now, when Job's three friends heard of all this evil that was come upon him, they came every one from his own place, Eliphaz the Temanite, Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite. For they had made an appointment together to come to mourn with him, and to comfort him. And when they lifted up their eyes afar off, and knew him not, they lifted up their voices, and wept, and they rent every one his mantle, and sprinkled dust upon their heads toward heaven, and sprinkled dust upon their heads toward heaven. So they sat down with him upon the ground 7 days and 7 nights, and none spake a word unto him, for they saw that his grief was very great. So that's the introduction to Job. Then there's all this stuff that transpires, conversations between Job and his friends. And this is the interesting passage I was talking about. And Job answered and said, No doubt, but ye are the people, and wisdom shall die with you. But I have understanding as well as you. I am not inferior to you. Yea, who knoweth not such things as these? I am as one mocked of his neighbor, who calleth upon God, and he answereth him. The just and upright man is laughed to scorn. He that is ready to slip with his feet is as a lamp despised in the thought of him that is at ease. The tabernacles of robbers prosper, and they that provoke God are secure, into whose hand God bringeth abundantly. But ask now the beasts, they shall teach thee, and the fowls of the air, and they shall tell thee. Or speak to the earth, and it shall teach thee, and the fishes of the sea shall declare unto thee. Who knoweth not in all these things, or who knoweth not in all these that the hand of the Lord hath wrought this? In whose hand is the soul of every living thing, and the breath of all mankind? Doth not the ear try words, and the mouth taste his meat? I had to finish that whole passage, but this is the interesting part to me. Right here. I am as one mocked of his neighbor, who calleth upon God, and he answereth him. The just upright man is laughed to scorn. So what does that mean? Who answered Job? God? Or Job's neighbor who mocks him? Because the just upright man is laughed to scorn. Now I've noticed there's a thing that goes on like that. Something about communications in the brain and people bearing the name of God vainly, trying to call themselves the Lord and speak to people's brains, answering prayers with corruptions and such. So I think that's what that's talking about. So I wanted to draw attention to that, because that's one of the most interesting verses in the Bible. The book of Job is fantastic. People say it was written by Moses. I say, well, obviously it was compiled by Moses with the 5 books. Moses wrote Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. But Genesis was already written before Moses. So Moses put it together and put it into the Torah. And Job was also in the Torah, I believe, because it's supposed to be even older than Moses. But I don't believe that Moses wrote it. I believe that it was written by Elihu, the young man who stands behind and listens to the 3 friends of Job, and Job converse until chapter 32. So the 3 men ceased to answer Job, because he was righteous in his own eyes. Then was kindled the wrath of Elihu the son of Barachel, the Buzite, the kindred of Ram, against Job. With his wrath against Job with his wrath kindled, because he justified himself rather than God. Also against his 3 friends was his wrath kindled, because they had found no answer, and yet had condemned Job. Now scrolling down, well, first of all we say, now Elihu had waited till Job had spoken, because they were elder than he. But scrolling down to 16, after you read all that, we see something here. We see, when I had waited, for they spake not, but stood still, and answered no more, I said, I will answer also my part. Not Elihu said, or he said. I said, I will answer my part. I will answer also my part. I also will show mine opinion. Now why that's interesting is because Elihu is a young man, and he was here the whole time while Job and Job's 3 friends were talking. But why? Because Elihu was Job's scribe. And in the end, Elihu answered, and he was probably writing as he was speaking. So that's my my idea there. Well, actually, let me read this here. They were amazed, they answered no more, they left off speaking. When I had waited, for they spake not, but stood still and answered no more, I said, I will answer also my part. I also will show mine opinion. For I am full of matter, the spirit within me. Oh, okay, you have to read it. It's good though. Alright, that's the video. That's what I wanted to discuss. That's what I wanted to show. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the scripture. Enjoy the Lord. Enjoy the life in Jesus Christ and enjoy some Hot Wheels. Alright, one mango. Neat seat.